Hey, this is Garrett McAllister from Clean Direct, the home of Ionic Systems, located here in Sanford, North Carolina. Today, we're going to be looking at the single DI caddy. And this DI caddy is very light and easy to move around. It's a mobile system. It can also be mounted to the side of a van or into a janitor's closet if you're trying to produce pure water using deionization or DI. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at how to change out a cartridge today, and I'm going to show you a couple little tools and tips and tricks on how to make that happen. So what we have is a couple tools. We have an Ionic key that will help us release the connector here on the end, and then we have an Allen wrench that can be used to fit into the bolts, and this is a 5/32 inch size. Okay, for starters, what we're going to do is, if you're using this in a handheld manner and not van mounted, we're going to release the rope that is for handheld purposes, just to get it out of the way. Okay, then the next step is, if you zoom here, we're going to take this Ionic key and we're going to go in here and we're going to use it in this groove like this, and we're going to push against that black piece towards the unit, and that will help release this fitting. Okay, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm actually going to show you how to just completely disassemble it. So we're going to do that. We're going to push against, and then we're going to pull that out. Okay, that's the first thing. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the stainless steel mounts that are on the end. Now, these are the triangle style. As I mentioned earlier in the video, we do have a stainless steel wall mount, which is great for mounting into a van or into a janitor's closet or however you want to use it. But for today's experiment, we're going to take the bolts out the side of this mount. Now, as I'm doing this, you can see that there is a little ring on each side, which basically designates what type of cylinder, or excuse me, filter is inside. And what I did was I just released the pressure on it on one side, and then did half of it, and then did the other side. Okay? Then we're going to take this one. Okay, it's released. And then we're just going to take this, just like this, and set it to the side. As you can see here on the end of the cylinder or filter, we have a reading, and it just reminds you on what the TDS reading should be when you want to replace it. So here it's TDS, so if it's less than or greater than 3 parts per million, it's time to replace your DI. Okay, so here on the canister, on the side with the larger end cap, this is the side that's removable. On this other side here, that's not removable on this side, but I did want to show you, in case you needed to remove this from the mounts, how to do it. So we'll come back over here, and we're going to actually take this, and I'm just going to pull this stainless steel mount off like that. Okay, and then what you're going to see is the removable top canister casing that we can take off by removing this ring. So this is a plastic ring that can be taken out. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to remove this snap ring, this ring that's on top of the canister. So if you'll zoom in, I'll show you. So what I've done is, here's the key, and I've kind of put it in like this and use it to leverage it out, up and out. And you see it's created a gap here. And now I can bring the ring out, and I can just take it right out of the canister. Okay, the next step is I'm going to take my thumb, put my hand underneath the canister, and just use that to leverage it out, and it's going to pop right out. Now you'll notice that there is a ring here, an O-ring, and the O-ring is slightly greased, so that's going to help that connection here. So what we want to make sure is we just leave that alone and try not to get all that grease off of there. We want it on there, and that helps to create the seal here. And then you'll see that there is a pull tab. I can put my finger in here, and I can just pull this right out of the canister. Okay, so we're at the stage now where we want to remove the DI filter. And I want to point out just a little thing to you here. You'll notice that the edge of this is slightly beveled. And it has another kind of washer around, O-ring around here. So sometimes it can be a little stubborn getting this out of the canister. So you'll see when I push it back in, when I go to pull it, it kind of doesn't want to pull out just by hand strength. So the trick here is that we're going to take the canister and I'm going to take it to a soft spot. Like I just have some carpet here. We're not going to do it that hard, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just kind of tap it, use the force of this, and it pops right out, just like that. That's an easy way to do it. I'm sure if you finagled it enough, you could get it to release, but I just wanted to show you that as a quick tip for removing the filter. Okay, so what we're going to do is go ahead and remove this DI filter out of the housing, like that. Try not to drop it in the floor. And here you have it. So whenever this is spent, you'll see the change in color in the canister or the filter here. So just when you see it, it won't look this nice and pristine. This is a new one. So what you're going to do is take that one out. You're going to dispose of this, and then you're going to take your new one and you're going to take it out of the packaging, and you're going to pop it right back in here. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to reverse the process that we did when we took everything off. So the first thing is we've got to put the O-ring back in. It's still pretty greasy, so I'm just going to let it rest inside there. Just like that. I have a little paper towel here to keep my fingers clean. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put the cap back on. And you see here you need to align the arrows. So it says align arrows to the arrow here and here, just like that. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the snap ring back into the top of the canister. When you do, grab the side that doesn't have the hole in it, so the larger side, and put that in first. I've discovered that's a lot easier. And then push this side down, it should snap right back in. Okay, now we're going to attach the triangle bracket back on. Simply rest it here. And then we're going to make sure you put your label back on. And then you're going to align, there's 4 holes here. You're going to align, make sure that 2 of them are set up properly. And then you're going to take your screws. It's hard to do that left-handed when you're right-handed. Let's get it like slightly threaded. And then I'm going to take my Allen wrench and I'm going to tighten this back down. Okay, I didn't over tighten it, I just good enough so it's on there good. And then I am going to take this and snap this back on, and I'm going to snap this fitting back on here. And then I'm going to take the rope handle and I'm going to reattach it back onto the top. And we're all set. Now, if you have this mounted on, if this is the wall mount style that you have and it's mounted inside your van or it's mounted on a wall inside the building, that's fine. What you'll do is you're going to detach it from the wall mount, and we're going to show you real quick what that looks like on video, and we're going to jump over here and show you, but we'll detach that and show you real quick how that works. All right, so what we have here is an actual water softener that's mounted to the wall, but it could be your DI caddy as well, using this same type of mount or something similar. So anyway, what I wanted to say is you can release the DI caddy from the wall up here, take the canister out, and walk through the exact same process, and then once you're done, you just pop this back in and go. So this is what it looks like for a setup if it's mounted to the side of a wall or a van wall.